guys, it's Tahira, and today I'm doing a video all about all the popular books I do not like. Now, usually I'm the type of person that if a book is popular, I usually am gonna like it. But there are a few handful of books that were really popular, but I ended up not liking, and so I'm gonna be talking about those books today. The first book I'm gonna be talking about on this list is The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. Knife of Never Letting Go is a very well-loved novel, but I really didn't like it because I couldn't get into the writing style. The writing style was very not like proper English, and I don't know, it just didn't sit well with me, and I just didn't like it. I couldn't get into the story at all. I didn't like it, and it was just really hard for me to read. I didn't DNF it, like I ended up reading the whole thing, and actually in I think like 8th grade I actually wrote like an essay about why I didn't like it, and I really wish I had that now, just to see over why I didn't like it. But yeah, I didn't like it enough to write a whole essay about why I didn't like it. It's a very well-loved book, and a lot of people love it because of the story, but I just don't. I haven't read any other Patrick Ness books, so I really don't know what his other books are like, but I just didn't like The Knife of Never Letting Go, but I'm not going to close off all his books forever. I want to read his other books to see if I like it, but I just didn't like this one. The second book on this list is The Star-Touched Queen by Roshni Chokshi. This is another book that is very popular, and a lot of people love it because of the writing, but that's exactly the reason why I did not like it. The writing is very flowery and it is very descriptive, but I didn't like that because it went overboard sometimes. Like, it would go on paragraph and paragraph describing one thing and relating it to like different similes and metaphors, and it slowed the pacing down of the book a lot, and that's why I didn't like it. A lot of people love the writing style, but that was the downfall of this book for me. I didn't really enjoy the writing, which is the reason why I did not like this book, but I know a lot of people do. I read Roshni Chokshi's other book, A Crown of Witches, which is the companion novel to this book, and I like that way more than this one because I think the description was like toned down a little. It didn't go on for paragraphs and paragraphs describing like one little thing, and that's what I really liked about that book. I overall enjoyed that story more, but yeah, I think the description is the only reason why I did not like it and I couldn't get into it. The third book on this list is Three Dark Crowns by Kendara Blake. Three Dark Crowns is another very popular book, and it is about three queens, I'm pretty sure, and they're like fighting for the crown. But a lot of people love it because, you know, it's fantasy, and I really wanted to love it because, you know, a fantasy is my favorite genre, if you did not know, and I really wanted to love it, but I just didn't. I found the pacing to be really off for me. In the beginning it was very slow, and then the end there was like a bunch of stuff that happened, and I hate when that happens in books. Like, I feel like that's a trend sometimes in fantasy books where the beginning and middle is very like slow, and then in the end it's like everything happens all at once and you don't know what's going on. I didn't really like the characters. It was very boring to read. It wasn't my cup of tea. But I've heard that the second book is way better than the first book, so I'm potentially might be interested in picking that up just to see if the story picks up and if that book's pacing is better. Overall, I think the idea is good. I like this style of idea where like there's people competing for like a throne or a crown or something. I like that idea, but I feel like this book didn't do it well. The pacing was off for me and I didn't like it, but hopefully I like the other books that are in the series because I've heard they're really good. The fourth book that I'm going to be talking about is a book that came out a few years ago. It's pretty old now, but that is The Fifth Wave by Ricky N.C. The Fifth Wave is about aliens and an alien invasion, and in the beginning when I first read it I really enjoyed it, but I think the only reason I lied to myself that I enjoyed it was because a lot of people like were really loving it at the time, and I really wanted to just like fit in with my friends because I had a friend who liked it and I didn't want to be like, oh no, I don't like that book. But I don't know, I was a weird kid. Now that I think about it, I really like, even in the beginning I really didn't like this book. I think the story was just, I don't remember much of the story because it was years ago. I don't even know when this book came out, but yeah, I didn't really like it, and I read the second book, The Infinite Sea I think it's called, and I was really bored by it, and I have absolutely no desire to pick up the last book, The Last Star. I really did want to love it because it was really popular at the time. But yes, it was really popular at the time, and I really wanted to love it because, you know, I want to love popular books. Like, who doesn't want to love a book? And I really wanted to, but you know, I just didn't. It was one of those books, and you know, I don't really care because I'm gonna unhaul this book because I don't really want it on my shelf and it's just taking up space. So yeah. And the last book on this list of popular books I do not like for now is Paper Towns by John Green. I like John Green's books, like overall. I like The Fault in Our Stars, I like Looking for Alaska. Looking for Alaska is my favorite. I like An Abundance of Catherines. But this one just wasn't a book for me. I don't know, I think the writing wasn't up to par with his other books, and I think the story was mediocre. I don't know, I just find it boring compared to the other books, and it wasn't a plot that I'm like super interested in, and I don't know, I read it because the movie was coming out and I really wanted to read it, just like because I want to read the book before the movie always. So I just picked it up because of that, but I really didn't enjoy it. It's my least favorite John Green book, and I really wanted to love it again because it's John Green. I like his other books. I've liked all his other books except for this one, and I'm really disappointed. I've heard it's not like everyone loves this book. Like, I've heard of other people saying that they didn't like this book as much as John Green's other books, but you know, John Green's popular authors. I just decided to put it on this list. But yeah, I don't know if I'm being coherent with any of this video, but you know, if you get what I mean, the writing isn't the best. The story isn't the best compared to John Green's other like emotional books, and this wasn't as emotional for me because John Green is kind of known for that. But yeah, in conclusion, I didn't like this book, but you know, John Green is an author I'll always read because I love his other books. This just was a bad egg. I had another book that I was gonna include in this video, and that's The Lord of the Rings. I know Lord of the Rings is probably the most controversial one in this video because Lord of the Rings is very well loved, but it's so boring. Like, I read the first 2 chapters and I think I fell asleep in every chapter that I read, which is like 2 chapters, but still. Like, I don't know, it's so boring. The pacing is so slow, nothing happens, and I know it gets way more interesting as like the story goes on, but I just couldn't get past those 2 chapters. I don't know, maybe I shouldn't, I'm not gonna include it like officially on this list because I technically haven't read the whole series, so I'll let you know my thoughts when I read it. I don't know when I'll do that, but I'll let you know. Yeah, but that is it for all the popular books I do not like. Let me know down below some popular books you do not like, as I would love to know. But that is it for this video. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!